Drop it. Stop. Stop. Why? Why would you? No! Hello, wonderful human beings, and welcome back to my channel. Oh, the school days. So young, so naive, so embarrassing. It is the most awkward time of your life. I will guarantee it is the most awkward time you will ever go through. And no matter how popular or how confident you may seem, there will always be embarrassing moments that you'll never forget. So I thought it'd be fun to go through my most embarrassing moments of school that are burned into my brain that I can never, ever forget. Enjoy! So I'm gonna go chronologically with this one. So I'm gonna start off with junior infants. Now, junior infants in Ireland is basically your first year of school. You're about 4 years old and you don't really learn too much. You learn your ABCs. That's probably about it. So when I was 4 years old, I decided it would be a fun little project to cut my hair down the toilet. I had very long hair. My mom always liked long hair on me. So I had longish hair at that age. So obviously it was a mess. So we had to get a hairdresser in to fix it. So you know that hairstyle that everyone had in the 90s, every little kid had at the 90s, you know, that bowl cut? I had that too. I had the mushroom head. I was probably the only girl who had the mushroom head. It was sexy. But obviously at that age, you don't really feel too embarrassed about it. And I like to think of myself as a funny person. So I came into school the next day and, you know, everyone was like, oh, what happened to your hair? And I decided to make a joke out of it because, you know, I wanted to make people laugh. Even at 4 years old, I wanted to make people laugh. So I was introducing myself as Christopher Courtney, which is my brother's name. I was saying, hello, Christopher Courtney. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And everyone had a big laugh about it. It was fun. It was nice. But then the teacher came in. Now, I was 4 years old, so, you know, I was scared of adults. You know, especially adults that I didn't really know. And this teacher was not a nice teacher. It's like she didn't even care about kids. She kind of hated them, maybe. So she saw me with my short hair, looked at me, and says, it looks like we have a new boy in the class. And as a 4-year-old who identified as a girl, even though I was saying to my friends I was Christopher Courtney, I got so embarrassed and sad. And all the kids were laughing, and I felt like shit. 4 years old, this teacher called me a boy, and I got really upset. I don't think that the teacher should have got involved in that. I don't know if she heard me saying I was Christopher Courtney, but she shouldn't have got involved. I was very sensitive. I was very young. I didn't understand that she was maybe trying to participate in the joke, or maybe she was just really mean and wanted to, you know, slag off my hair. But everyone laughed, and it was horrible. Fast forward to second class. So I was about 7 or 8 years old at this stage. And in our school, in our Catholic school, all the girls had to wear dresses, pinafore dresses. But you know, Ireland is freaking cold. You know, it's not always sunny. It's never really sunny in Ireland. So, you know, in the winter times, it gets cold. So I remember that I used to wear shorts under my pinafore skirt. Also, for when I'm playing and like doing handstands and stuff like that, I didn't want people to see my underwear. Naturally enough. So I used to wear shorts under my dress. And again, I wanted to make people laugh. I like making people laugh. So I decided at one break time that I would show everyone my shorts. I would show them off. So I'm pretty sure like I stood on a chair or a table and I'd say, woo, look at my shorts, everybody. Look, and I was kind of just showing it off and like flashing people, and it was fun. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone. Especially this one boy. He thought it was funny. He thought it was really, really funny. But when we were back into like our lessons, he went up to the teacher and was whispering something. And then in front of the entire class, the teacher says, Sarah, keep your shorts to yourself. No one wants to see it. And that boy looked at me and I was raging. I saw him laugh. Well, maybe he was laughing at me. Maybe that's what it was. But the teacher didn't take me aside and say, oh, Sarah, you shouldn't really be like lifting up your skirt in school. She said it in front of the entire class, and then everyone laughed at me. Everyone was laughing with me when I was doing it. There was no problem there. But once I got in trouble, everyone was laughing at me. And I felt so embarrassed. I just wanted to make people laugh, and it wasn't a big deal. It was just shorts. I was showing them my shorts. But then I felt like I was showing them my underwear, and everyone saw, and everyone was talking about it. And it was horrible. But the worst was yet to come. So fast forward to 4th class. So this would be around the age of 10, I would say. And in our primary school, our bathrooms were in our classrooms. So we didn't have to leave the room to go to the toilet. We just had to go to the bathroom area. There was like 2 toilets, a boys' and a girls' toilet. And what we have to do if you need to go to the toilet, we have to raise our hand and ask, can we go to the toilet? In Irish as well. So, Unwill Cadigum Dugdy and Letteris. So yeah, I wasn't feeling too great. I was feeling a bit sick, to be honest. And then it came to the point where I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna get sick. So, I couldn't just get up and go. I had to say, Unwill Cadigum Dugdy and Letteris. Now, at this point, I was about to get sick, like it was coming, but I still had to raise my hand and say it. So, I wasted a bit of time there. And, the teacher said, yeah, go ahead. And let's just say I did not make it. So by the time I got to the tile area, just in front of the bathroom, I threw up everywhere in front of the entire class. Because we were working on something, so it wasn't like everyone was chattering. Everyone was quiet. Everyone was quiet and listening to the teacher, trying to get the lesson done. And I just went... I got sick in front of the entire class. And not just that. Not just I just got sick. Obviously people were going to be laughing at me and all that jazz. But then the boy that I fancied at the time had to clean up my sick. My life. Awful. Awful times. You know the way parents sometimes embarrass you? My parents were usually quite good at not embarrassing me. They weren't those kind of parents. But there was one time that I remember, and I'll always remember. So my lunchbox wasn't really a lunchbox. It was like a bag which I kept my lunch in. And it wasn't just an ordinary bag. It was a Shaun the Sheep bag. And when I mean a Shaun the Sheep bag, it was literally a Shaun the Sheep teddy that you could zip open and put things in. And it wasn't small. And if that wasn't embarrassing enough, carrying that around every single day, everyone knew it was mine. I don't think they made fun of me for it. But, that's pretty embarrassing that I had that. Because no one else had anything like that. They just had normal lunch boxes, but I just didn't. One day, I forgot my Shaun the Sheep bag. I didn't have any lunch for the day. And my mum, being the good mother that she is, came in and brought in my lunch. But she didn't just bring it in. She didn't just come into the classroom and say, oh, you've got your lunch, here you go. No. She knocked on the door. The teacher said, come in. And then in trots a little Shaun the Sheep bag. No sign of my mother. Just as if he was walking in by himself. Coming in and poking his head through. The entire class were in fits of laughter. And I was just like, oh my God, ma'am, just drop it and leave. Just drop it. Stop. Why? Why would you? No! It's the only time my mom really embarrassed me in school. And with my friends. Why couldn't she just hand me the lunchbox? Why did she have to make a whole theatrical show? Thanks, ma'am. And then we go into secondary school. This is even a more awkward time because this is when, your puberty comes in. That's represents puberty, by the way, in case you didn't know. That's the puberty. So you're trying to figure yourself out and deal with all these hormones and these changes, and it's just stressful. So in first year, this is when I'm getting to know new people and trying to make friends. This is when you don't want to have embarrassing moments in the first year of your secondary school life. But something did happen, of course it did. It's me. So there was a boy that I really fancied who was in third year, and he was a brother of one of my close friends. I obviously thought that he was going to fall in love with me because I was young and stupid. But you know, I always want to play cool and not let him know that I fancied him. So in school, you know, how you always like send notes to your friend, and it's just all fun and games because you don't really want to listen to the teacher. So at one point, I was sending a note to my best friend who was sitting pretty much right beside me, I'm pretty sure, just about this boy that I liked. I think I may have mentioned his name, but my history teacher found the note. Now, she didn't announce it in front of our entire class, which was nice. She just brought us up to the top of the class and whispered, "Who's the boy that you like? Who is he?" And all this stuff. And I was just like, "I'm not telling you. What the I didn't curse because I was really shy. So I was like, nobody. I was fine. It was embarrassing because the teacher was trying to find out a boy that I liked. And I was like, I don't want to talk to a teacher about this. What's going on? And she kept on pestering. She was one of those teachers who kept on pestering. And she thought she was being your friend, but she wasn't. She was kind of mean. What she did do, though, is announce it in the boys' class that I fancied. She was a history teacher for his class as well, and she announced it in front of that class that a first year named Sarah fancies Stephen. And I mean, there's a lot of Sarahs in the world, there's a lot of Stephens in the world. Like, obviously I wasn't in that class, so I don't know what exactly she said, but that guy, Stephen, he messaged me and said, "Oh, I hear that you like me." What? How did this happen? She announced it. She basically told him that I fancied him. I was like 12 years old. He was about 15. And she announced to him that I fancied him. And he knew. And it was the most embarrassing thing ever. Because I saw him all the time because I was friends with his brother. It was mortifying. Why would a teacher do that? Why? Why? That's just mean. And I'm pretty sure she announced it in front of the entire class, not just brought him up and told him. Announced it in front of the entire class. So people that I didn't even know knew that I fancied this guy, and I was writing notes about him, and they didn't even know me, but they probably did after that class. He probably pointed me out to them and said, "Oh, that's the girl that fancies me." And this is an embarrassing story, but it's not an embarrassing story about me, which is good. But I thought it was really funny, so I wanted to include it in the video. So I was in maths class, so it was about 5th year, 6th year, and I was sitting beside one of my best friends, David T. You would have seen him in my Edinburgh Pride video. Me and David T were discussing the new Desperate Housewives episode. Desperate Housewives was a very popular show back then. Back in the day. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but I love it. But we were trying to figure out what was going on with a certain storyline. I think the episode ended with her closing the drawer and had something in it. And we were just trying to discuss what it was or what it meant. And then we were trying to discuss if she was like a prostitute or something like that. And David T said loudly, "Well, if I know my prostitutes, they weren't condoms." He happened to say this when the teacher had stopped talking and there was a lull in the class. Not only did he say it a bit loudly than he usually does, but there was literally no one else talking. It was loud. And obviously you don't know David T. David T is like so kind, so respectful to like his elders. He's not one of those people who would shout out in class, but he did. And I think it surprised the teacher. She just turned around and said, "David!" And he was like, "Was that a bit loud?" And she was like, "Yes." And like the entire class laughed. And it's probably my most favorite memory of school because it was perfect. It was like something you would see in like a TV show or a high school movie or something like that. It was amazing. He was probably really embarrassed. I loved it. So those are just a few of the embarrassing stories I have with primary school and secondary school. It is an awkward time because you are young, trying to figure out yourself, you're getting all these like hormones, you're developing, you're hitting puberty, there's so much going on that you're gonna fuck up. And plus, we're human. All humans fuck up. It's not like I've stopped having embarrassing moments now that I'm an adult. Yeah, adult. But I don't get as affected by them as I would have when I was younger because you want to fit in when you're younger. You want to not be seen as this weirdo. You want to just make friends and be normal and all that jazz. But the thing to remember is when you do have these embarrassing moments, yes, at the time, you will want to be swallowed up into a hole and never return. You will just not want to see your friends again. You'll want to move. But as you grow older and as you have more embarrassing moments and come into yourself a bit more and not feel like you need to fit in all the time, you realize that these embarrassing moments you had in school aren't as bad as you thought they were, and they'll become funny anecdotes for your friends over wine and coffee and all the adulty things that you can do. But they're not going to be as bad as the moment that the embarrassing thing happens. It's going to be fine. Everything will be fine. So don't get too hung up on these embarrassing moments, because, like I said, they create funny anecdotes. They help you develop as well. They help you become stronger, and if you can, it gives you the ability to laugh at yourself and not get too wound up about these things that happen. I eventually got to the point where I was just like, okay, something embarrassing happened. Let's just laugh, and I'll make fun of myself and I'll bring it up at occasions. So I'm taking control of the embarrassing moment and people aren't just throwing it in my face. But we all have them. Every single person will have embarrassing moments in school or in their later years. We all have embarrassing moments. So let's just laugh about them. Please give this video a wee thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you would like more videos like this, like story time videos, please let me know in the comment section. And please let me know if you've had any embarrassing moments that you're comfortable talking about, like in school or recently or anything like that. I'd love to hear about them. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.